Hello everyone, this is your Cisco Security United States Public Sector team with another video for you guys. Today we're going to talk about Cisco Secured Network Analytics 7.4. It's the product formerly known as StealthWatch. I love the name StealthWatch. It's a shame that we're going pragmatic with everything and calling Cisco Secure and whatever that terminology may be. But StealthWatch, as you'll see, especially in 7.4, has really gone to the wayside of that new name, the new branding of Cisco Secure Network Analytics. Today we're going to talk about APL certification update and extension. Not only did we update the version on it, but we also extended it out, so I'll mention that. And then new features that happen in 7.3.2 and 7.4.0. I had a previous video on the new features in 7.3.0 and 7.3.1. So if you're looking for information on those releases, please go check out that video. Alright, SNA 7.3.2 and 7.4.0, what's in the box? 7.3.2 came out May of 2021. I included 5 of the features that I deem pertinent for this video. I will include a link down below for the full release notes if you want more details, or you want to see what's fixed or what's included in 7.3.2 and 7.4.0 additionally. First feature I want to talk about is the Analytics Beta. This was a way to optimize alerting within SNA. This is a beta, obviously, so it's included in 7.3.2, but you will have to actually enable it. Basically, when you go into an alert, you can see the alert, see what triggered the alert, see the traffic associated with the alert, very streamlined. We removed the endpoint concentrator in 7.3.2. Previous to 7.3.2, if you collected flow from endpoints, the endpoint would be directed towards the endpoint concentrator, and then the endpoint concentrator would send that flow off to the flow collector. We basically eliminated the need for that endpoint concentrator in 7.3.2 and later. So you will send that flow directly from an endpoint to the flow collector. Just know that if you go to 7.3.2 or later, the endpoint concentrator will be gone, and you will have to reconfigure all of your clients that are doing AnyConnect NBM to send that flow to the flow collector rather than the endpoint concentrator. PXGrid 2.0 support. This support is needed as ICE 3.1 and later, which I have a separate video on if you want to watch. That is, again, the latest code, and it is certified now. So many of our customers are going to go to that version. And so if you're on 3.1 or later, just know that PXGrid 1.x support is no longer in that version. We only support PXGrid 2.0. So if you have an integration between SNA and ICE, where ICE is providing identity information to you for SNA, or you're doing quarantines from SNA to ICE, that will cease to work if you're not both on PXGrid 2.0. So just make sure if your ICE is on 3.1 or later, you're on SNA 7.3.2 or later. This is more of a security enhancement. Next is a cross-site request forgery or CSRF protections. You can Google what that is or just look at the release notes, but that's just pretty straightforward. Another one straightforward one is SNMP agent custom username and password for management. Again, if you're using version 3, you can do a custom username, do the auth, and the priv passwords. Again, if you want more information, check out the release notes. 7.4.0 came out in November of last year. On the APL, we actually updated to version 7.4 in January. And then in February, we actually extended APL certification out to June of 2025. So 7.4.0 is now your APL version, and we are good for another 3+ years. We also moved the report builder from an app to it being natively in the UI now. This is kind of how we're going to introduce features into SNA. So we're going to introduce an app that has some functionality, and once that app is mature, we can actually move that into the native UI. And that's exactly what we did here with the report builder. Another security enhancement really is the server identity verification. Pretty straightforward with TLS nowadays. If you want more information, check out the release notes. NetFlow, SFlow single image. You still need, if you have SFlow and NetFlow being ingested into SNA, you still need separate flow collectors, but there used to be 2 different images. So if you are collecting SFlow, you had to deploy an SFlow flow collector with a separate image, and then NetFlow with a NetFlow separate flow collector separate image. Now it's all one image, so you just deploy a NetFlow. You're deploying a flow collector ISO, and then you can either ingest SFlow or NetFlow. You choose, and then you can switch that after you actually deploy it as well. Security analytics and login on-prem enhancements. We include This is a feature where if you're importing events from FTD or ASA. We include multi-node that lets you ingest from, IPS, ASA, FTD. We do event viewer where you can actually filter on a device type, and a couple more features. So if you're using that functionality and you want to learn more about that, please check out the release notes. There are a couple dedicated documents to that. Data store enhancements. If you're using data store or you're interested in data store or adding that capability to your SNA deployment, if you had a physical manager and a physical flow collector, you had to get a physical data store. And if you had a virtual manager or a virtual flow collector, you had to get virtual data stores. There was no mixing of the two. We've now included that in 740. So if you have virtual manager and a virtual flow collector, which is very standard, you can actually mix that with physical data store, which data stores typically make more sense to keep physical at this point. And then alarm suppression, pretty straightforward. If certain traffic you don't want to see come up as an alarm, even though it may trigger an alarm, you can suppress it and not dirty up your dashboard. All right, and with that, I'll leave you with the title of my favorite Narnia book, The Lion, the Witch, Enable NetFlow on your Cisco switch and send it off to SNA for analysis. Thanks.